Well, welcome once again to Devotions with Pastor Joe, our chance to dig into a few things devotionally during the week to consider some of the things that God has been saying to us as a church and as a family so that we can really grow and mature. And I hope today this will be a really strong encouragement for your faith. Today I want to talk about generosity. Now, generosity is something that we all kind of aspire to. Like, we all want to be seen as generous people, generous with our gifts, generous with our talents, generous with our time. We admire generous people, and we somehow think that people are maybe should always be generous, and there's something wrong if they're not. Well, I think that what the scriptures teach us is that generosity is actually kind of a rarity. That, in a sense, human beings have a kind of a vacuum effect on the world, that we end up sucking up things into our own lives, and they don't really kind of come out at the same rate as they go in. And I think part of the reasons that we do that is because we're not really sure how to measure success. What is a successful life? Now, I really want to consider that in this sense, that our signs of success become the goals and the vision for ourselves that we live towards. And we have very strong signs of success when it comes to accumulating things. When we consider people on how well they've done, we oftentimes think about what they accumulated. They accumulated a lot of money, a lot of friends, a lot of influence, a lot of power. We think about them in a sense. A human being is better when they grow, when their sense of who they are gets bigger. Now, again and again in the scriptures, we're taught that that is not the true measure of success. Success is not found in the gaining of things, but success is always found in the giving of things. And we want to be, our model is Jesus Christ, who ultimately is the most generous person of them all. In fact, Jesus said in Acts chapter 20, there's a quote from the Apostle Paul of Jesus that's not found in the Gospels, but obviously it's one of the stories that the disciples shared with Paul. It says in verse 35, he says, "In all things I have shown you that by working hard in this way, we must help the weak and remember the words of the Lord Jesus, how he himself said, 'It is more blessed to give than to receive.'" Now, Jesus is saying that there is a larger and a better blessing in our lives when we are known for our generosity. During the last couple of Sundays, I quoted from Proverbs chapter 23. And Proverbs chapter 23 gives us wisdom about money, chasing after more. And he uses it by comparing two things: kings who have a lot and stingy people who are only claiming to want to give to you. They say, "I really want you to have this," but they don't really want you to have it. And when it comes down to it, what he's saying is be careful of what's in people's hearts. Today, I'd love for us to be able to put our hearts out before God and have him ask this question: how much do we want to be known by what we have? And how much do we want to be known by how much we give? This is a big challenge to me. Jesus himself said that it is a better position for us to be in when we are known for our generosity, or when we don't accumulate, but when we give generously out. We work hard for others. We help those with less. We give, not look to receive. Now, any person here today, if they received, thousands of dollars, they would feel blessed, in some way, bank error in your favor, whatever the monopoly title is. Something happened in your life and you suddenly accumulated a lot. Maybe you accumulate a lot of friends. Maybe you accumulate a lot of influence. Maybe you accumulate a lot of things. We automatically assume, we think, wow, that person is being blessed. Well, it is a blessing if you fulfill the second part. He said it's actually more blessed to be a giver of those things. So, in your own heart today, I would love you to think about your own kind of sense of generosity, not in a critical kind of way. Because what Jesus is trying to show is that we have a bigger influence on the world and we live more Christ-like when we start to become generous people. Generous with our time, generous with our patience, generous with our money. And maybe you want to put into practice the act of generosity, finding ways to contribute to people whenever they have needs with a sense of kind of humility and delight. How generous are you? What's your measure of success? Is it what you have or what you gave? And I hope that today, as you just pray and think about these things, that God will lead you into the freedom and the joy of generosity, because like Jesus said, it's a giant blessing when you walk in it. So God bless you. Have a generous day.